Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the O'Callie's Film Room. Today, myself, Ryan Novozinsky, and Sudeep Tumma, the sports editor for the O'Callie, are going to break down Oklahoma State's loss against the Texas Longhorns in overtime. We're going to break down a couple films that happened, or a couple plays rather, that happened during this game, and sort of give you an evolved version of what has happened during the game in between some of these plays. So when you look at Texas, Sudeep, I mean, you look at sort of a weird game that OSU just had against these Longhorns, a team that has a really good offense, but didn't really get to show it that much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely not. It was weird. Yeah, right. It was a lot more because of OSU's defense and how well they
Sure.
played, right? But yeah, I mean, the first play here we have to look at is the reason that this game. I kept saying right all week that this could have been a double-digit win for OSU,
Mm-hmm.
right? If not for the costly turnovers, because if not, Texas couldn't drive down the offense, right? They couldn't go the whole length of the
Mm-hmm.
field. But I thought Casey Dunn did an excellent job play calling. Great play design on a lot of these, and this is one of them that just exemplifies it. This is the Landon Wolf play, right? You see him. We'll see the play first, and you just see him in the slot. You see him kind of fake the screen, and then he's gonna run out and be wide open, right? Let's look at it. You see him. There's a couple things to watch. First of all, Texas is in a cover three, but it's more of just a trap coverage where you're gonna see number one, Chris Adamore, their slot corner. He is obviously slot corner, so he's typically in coverage. But in this play, he rushes in and he's gonna blitz from the left side. But it's not really a blitz because you see Joseph Asai on the other side, the Jack linebacker. He's coming down right now on the right side of Texas
Mm-hmm.
defense. You're gonna see him drop back in coverage, and when you see number one flying right in, and you're gonna see the safety right here, top number 7, right above number one. He's coming in late second, right? You see him right there. He comes down to this bottom coverage, right? Near this bottom, below the 1st and 10 sign, right? And then the two guys in the middle, they're playing that middle coverage, and Joseph Sai is going to the edge, right? Then you have the two corners in the back, and the safety dropping back, right? You got your cover 3. Now, when you typically have that, what you're kind of creating is, if there is one guy in the curl flat, you're kind of creating a fake sense, right? You have Chuba Hubbard running out. Watch Chuba Hubbard. He's coming out for a screen pass, right? Or at least what looks like a screen pass, right? And watch Spencer Sanders. He fakes it. The shoulders are well.
Mm-hmm.
And Landon Wolf. Landon Wolf is what do you know about Landon Wolf? He's just a reliable
Yeah.
slot guy, right? Just a good underneath target. Will catch some balls, but you don't think of him as a threat. When you're Texas, you're not really scouting for Landon Wolf too much, right? But when you're Caden Stearns and you're coming down from that safety position, anytime you kind of play these trap coverages and you're disguising coverage, you're rushing, right? Because if you're number one and you're there, okay, yeah, I'm watching everything. I know what's going on. I don't need to rush. But you're Caden Stearns. You see, oh man, Chuba's about to catch the ball. Let me go extra fast. Let me go down and hit him, right? Before he gets anything. So when you're there, that's all you're thinking about. And you see Landon Wolf coming ready to block you, then you're thinking, okay, why wouldn't I do that, right? But sells a block well, and he's out there, right? And just watch Spencer, too. Like, he's faking that. Good fake to Chuba, and then out to Landon Wolf, right?
This is the thing that I was most impressed by from Landon Wolf in this play was how he sold that block right there, that fake block, and he slipped by him really quick. And like you said, I mean, you're thinking Chuba right there. You're thinking that. You're thinking that's the point of attack right there. And Caden Stearns is obviously thinking that as well.
Right.
So
excellent safety too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely like one of the highest caliber safeties in the Big 12, I'd say. And he's a guy that right here, Landon Wolf, proved to be valuable many times during this game. So as you can see right here, just a huge conversion from him.
Exactly. Great open play, wide open, just great play design, right? And then you see it again, right? And then the very next play where they get that touchdown. Watch, Landon Wolf in the slot this time, right? Well, slot again, but other side, matched up next to Dylan Stoner. And on the left side, you're just going to see man-to-man coverage, right? Very simple concept. The middle guy's got the inside guy's got Landon Wolf. The outside guy's got Dylan Stoner. And you're going to see Landon Wolf looks like a bubble screen, right?
Yeah.
And then both Texas defenders, they don't switch, they don't communicate, they don't say, okay, yeah, we'll switch if it goes the other way. Any sort of stunts, they aren't doing that.
They're jumbled up right there.
Right, they're sticking. And you watch Dylan Stoner, just watch him for a second. He doesn't do anything crazy. He's just setting up for a block and then runs a slant route. Defenses call it a pick play, offense calls it a rub route, right? And you see it, and just watch Landon Wolf. Sells it well, right? Just looks like a simple bubble screen. Defenders after him, and then runs the end zone.
You
wide
look at
open.
The change of pace there from Landon Wolf. Landon Wolf, go to Hollywood. I mean, you are a great actor. You proved it a lot of times this game. I mean, look at this. It does look just like a bubble screen. I mean, he's trying to sell it as such, but then he's able to break away right there and convert a touchdown to put OSU above Texas at the time being.
Yeah, I mean, both both those touchdowns you see it, right? You see that little burst,
Mm-hmm.
you see the fake, and then the athleticism, right? Obviously, like I said, he's just kind of thought of that reliable
Mm-hmm.
slot underneath guys. Will catch them flat routes, some slants, get open a little bit. But you kind of see it. There's a little bit of burst here, right? On that bubble screen, he's just kind of out there. On that fake screen, he's just kind of out there. Then he bursts to you, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
watch this, right? He's coming out to the bubble, and then suddenly he sees the open lane. He just goes. Simple. Great throw, accurate, obviously. Very easy catch, and he goes, and it's touchdown.
Yeah, definitely a great performance from Landon Wolf. Probably one of the best of his career against Texas, and like you said, a very reliable guy. But let's show you some of the plays now, or this play right here specifically. That sort of painted the picture of how Texas was able to win this game. Right here, you'll see a Spencer Sanders interception by Jalen Green of Texas, someone who played really well the other day. And here's a guy that like I said, this sort of set the tone and gave Texas one of those big first punches for them. I believe it led to their first lead.
Yeah, they got the interception. They went down easy. They were down at maybe the 8-yard line,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, very close. And you watch Jalen Green, right? Number 3, he's on D. Anderson. D. Anderson came in,
Mm-hmm.
right, the transfer, came with a little bit of hype. Big guy, right? For whatever he is, hasn't played too much. You know that, right? Big guy with ball skills.
Yeah.
6'6". He can body guys out, right? And you watch it. You watch Jalen Green the whole time. Just watch the interception first.
Mm-hmm.
He's just looking at Spencer Sanders, right? Throws that ball. He's out there, right? Takes the interception. Now, the other angles show up better, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see. Watch D. Anderson, right? Number 11.
Mm-hmm.
Watch number 3. Watch him just this entire play. He's backing out, and he's running that route for him, right? You just watch that, right? He is running the route for him. Look at where he is right now.
This.
Look at this body leverage, right? He is there.
Wow.
And he just goes in the out route,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's there. Now, at this point, where does that ball need to go? It doesn't look like it on this angle, but there's more than ample room from the 50 to the end zone, right?
Yeah.
And that ball needs to be out for D. Anderson. Now, Jalen Green's all over him.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case, it's an incomplete, right, because of that. But like I said, you got a big 6'6" guy. Maybe it's a little bit of a curl where he comes back just a little bit, uses his body leverage and catches it. But instead, Spencer puts it behind him, right? That's clearly underthrown. It's as simple as that. It's behind thrown. And you just watch Jalen Green the whole time, right? The entire play, he's staring down Spencer Sanders,
I was going to say, look at his eyes.
Right, yeah,
They're
his
all
eyes
over
the entire
him.
time, right? He's on D. Anderson, and he's just looking. He watches it. He sees it. He's on him, right? And then he gets it. And you watch Spencer. From the moment that ball snapped, he's looking. His helmet's to the left, right? He's going. Look at that ball. Look at where it is. To the right.
There you go.
Behind him. And even Tylen Wallace probably couldn't catch that, right? You're running. It's timing, right? It's just, it should be more out. It's as simple as that. I thought maybe when I first watched this might be a curl route that was screwed up by D. Anderson. But Mike Gundy said Spencer Sanders underthrew it. So I think it was just a simple out route that was just thrown behind. And it just sucked because this was one of those plays where Texas was stuck like glue, right? If they were off 5 yards, where they are a lot of times with Tylen Wallace, then okay, it just falls to the ground, right? Maybe D. Anderson grabs it or tips off his hands, incomplete. But that's why it was a lot more costly. And it's one of those times where Texas was actually, stuck in coverage.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, it's just simple things, right? You underthrow it, you throw it behind him, simple pick. And that was one of the issues. Those are one of the things where accuracy sometimes most important in certain situations.
Right, and in certain situations, right, it was definitely not consistent the entire game, and it hasn't been consistent all season long for these Texas Longhorns. But situationally, there were times where this Texas defense last Saturday was able to apply great pressure. I mean, they applied pressure well the entire game, but I'd say that like just all units were able to work together, and on some plays specifically, just big plays, they were able to sort of apply pressure to OSU, and especially on this when it counted the most. Here we go, Joseph Asai, the guy who had a heck of a game.
Yeah,
obviously clinched the game right here.
No doubt. Yeah, what you're going to see here, right? That last play. Everyone knows this play. Spencer rolls out to the left, gets sacked, right? But watch him. In that first clap, watch his first clap. See a linebacker, number 6, Juwan Mitchell, jumps just a little bit. When that happens, Spencer looks to the sideline. They call it. They know it's a blitz, right? Chris Ash. This is a great play call by Chris Ash, right? They know it. They call the protection, right? You're going to see Josh still on the left. He points it out. They know it's there. But when Spencer does call hike, there are 3 guys rushing. There's 7 guys coming at you. But that being said, the O-line does a tremendous job. Watch what happens. You got 6 guys and versus 4 linemen and Chuba Hubbard. That's 6 on 5, and you contain it fully. Look at that. Look at that mess of people. Now watch Joseph Asai. he is on him, right? And that's just simple. This is where the real issue was. Because you're containing that whole group. You're throwing 7 against 6, and one of your 6 is Chuba Hubbard, and you're still containing it. That's what you need to do. Tevin Jenkins is the best lineman here, one of the best linemen in the country. He is absolutely elite, but he cannot get this. He cannot get this block here. And watch Joseph aside. This is nothing special. There's no dip move. There's no anything. Just violent arms, swinging around, and he's there, right? And Spencer said after the game, he thought, okay, I should have just stood in there, taken the blow and thrown it. I'm not sure he had enough time. We'll see in the second angle. That's just my thought. I don't play quarterback, but but watch the second angle and you'll see something else from Tevin Jenkins and Jelani Woods. Watch Jelani Woods. He's got the little chip block on the outside, right? Doesn't chip him.
Wow.
There's no chip block here. You do that for just a little bit. You're not going to stop. You're not going to stop anyone with the chip block, right? But you slow him down for just a second. And then Tevin Jenkins will have that second to slide over and get body on him. Tevin Jenkins doesn't even have a body on him, right? It's not like these two clashed and it was just a dip and a spin or something and he gets past him. It was just, there was no body. Look, just slides right past Tevin Jenkins. And when you do that, I mean, for me, look, from here, about here, maybe here, is where if you're Spencer, you can probably feel confident throwing the ball without thinking you're going to maybe fumble it because you have a pass rusher in your face. But look where Braden Johnson. I believe that's Braden Johnson.
Yes.
My eyes deceive me. You right here. I don't know how I mean, it's here, and you feel like, okay, yeah, this is where I'm good before I can, take off and run, or I'm gonna get sacked. Do you really feel confident throwing that? And look at the other angle. There aren't many guys that are wide open on this play, right? I think Tylen on the other side is covered. Jelani obviously isn't far enough, right? You're rolling out to the left, and there's not much there, right? The other side, Dylan Stoner. There's just up there. There's a whole mess. Look at Braden Johnson. There's a small window there, barely. And by the time Braden Johnson gets open, which is probably around here, Spencer's already long gone, right?
Yeah.
It was one of those tough things, just such a well-timed blitz. But I think that Jelani Woods, just that lack of a chip, honestly kind of did it for me because Tevin Jenkins, an excellent, obviously elite, strong lineman, can't even get a body there. But, I mean, this is another thing that I kind of noticed going back to it. Simple, subtle little thing. Joseph Asai usually lines up on the other side, right? He's usually there. And, blindside, obviously you're going against a quarterback who can't see you, right? You're going against righty quarterbacks. This time he's flipped, right? He's on the other side. And what does that do? Spencer Sanders, when he's rolling left. Spencer Sanders does not like to roll to the left. Watch him most games, and he's rolling to the right. He likes going that way. It's easier for most quarterbacks to throw that way, right? They like rolling. They can either run or pass out of that right side. But this forced him to the left, and just look at it. There's just you gotta readjust your entire body if you're a righty quarterback going to the left, right? Readjust and get on your feet and throw it. If you're rolling to the right, you can throw it on the run, right? Even if a guy's behind you, because you're already going that way. And this, maybe that was play design. Maybe Texas did that, or maybe I'm just crazy. But if they did that was like another thing that was very smart. Got Spencer to left, and it's a very difficult throw from there. I mean, look at that. Where are you going to adjust your body and throw it, right? From there.
Man, that would have been, there's nothing doing there. And I to go back to it, I think this initial chip, or lack thereof, rather, what a chip is supposed to do, it's supposed to be a powerful punch where you're supposed to derail somebody who's rushing or who's making a pass rush right there, and especially a guy who's been hot all night in Joseph Asai. That would have made such a big impact if Jelani Woods had gotten that chip in there, because, I mean, for as great of a lineman as Tevin Jenkins is, he's not the greatest lineman in the world.
You could be the greatest lineman in the world, but if you don't get a body on him, there's no difference. If a guy just runs by you and you don't get a body on him, it doesn't matter how strong you are, especially how big you are, nothing.
There's a whole person and a whole two gaps right there in between Tevin Jenkins and Joseph Asai. So, I mean, it's not like he's lined up right next to Tevin Jenkins, and that's his primary responsibility. Yeah. It's designed to get that chip in there.
There you go, 9 technique. He's all the way out there, right? And that's wide. And Tevin Jenkins could have probably dipped more, but that little bit of leverage that's just gone, and then you see just violent arms, right? He's just running. Right? He's just straight running. There's no move. There's no spin move. There's no power bolt rush or anything. He's just going, and there's Spencer, right?
There you go.
And from there, there's just no pass. Imagine that. Unless you're lefty, unless you're Pat Mahomes throwing it with your left hand, that is difficult.
Yeah, that is definitely difficult, and this obviously was the clincher in OSU's overtime loss against the Texas Longhorns. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to the Film Room. Join us again next week, and we'll break down more film.